Did you know that the people in Zimbabwe have to go to neighboring countries to get basic needs? For example, in the entirety of Zimbabwe, there's only one maternity ward and no cancer treatment machines. Even people who have the means to afford these things have to go elsewhere to get them. What is even worse than that, for most of the 16 million people there, getting out of the country isn't even an option. Now, why is it so bad? Well, you may think that this is because the Zimbabwe is a really poor country. While that is true, it is not because it needs to be so. For example, it has an abundance of natural resources like gold, which is supposedly generate a good amount of income. In fact, Zimbabwe was once nicknamed the Jewel of Africa. So why are they so poor now? Of course, it is a complex matter, but certainly systematic crime like gold smuggling doesn't help. Did you know that every year $100 million worth of gold is smuggled out of Zimbabwe? If this gold were used to improve living conditions of the people, the situation would not have been so terrible. So why are things like gold smuggling allowed to happen? Well, here's where the problem of corruption comes in. Let's get the basics out of the way. What do we mean by corruption? Well, to put it simply, corruption is the abuse of a power for one's own benefit. For example, if you are a policeman, you are given the power to arrest and catch criminals. However, like Uncle Ben says in Spider-Man, with great power comes great responsibility. What if you use the power irresponsibly? Or even worse, use it for your own benefit. Let's say you caught a thief, but instead of sending him to prison, you let him go after he gives you some of money. That doesn't sound right, does it? That is essentially what corruption means. With that out of the way, let's go back to that gold smuggling. Do you think if precious resources like gold get smuggled out of the country, the president wouldn't notice? Of course he would. The reason it is still happening is that the president is given the power to protect the country and its resources, but he instead abuses that power to accept bribes and turn a blind eye to these crimes. If that's not corruption, I don't know what is. Now, you may ask, if the situation is so bad, why aren't the people of Zimbabwe doing anything about it? Why don't they pick a new president? Again, corruption seems to play a heavy part here. Apparently, the president has so much power, he can affect the outcome of elections in his favor. International bodies like the EU have raised concerns that previous elections, where President Mnangagwa remained in power, were not held fairly. They listed issues such as the banning of opposition rallies, problems with voter registration, a biased state of media coverage, and even voter intimidation. Worse still, there are even reports that when some people protested about the unfair outcome of the election, the president used violence to stop them, resulting in at least 6 civilians being killed. Zimbabwe is truly in a crisis, and I've only just scratched the surface. May you want to help? I certainly want to. Of course, individuals like you and I will find it difficult to help with the political and economic situation, but that doesn't mean we can't provide some help in certain areas like healthcare, which is really lacking in the country. For this reason, I've created a fundraiser page via MSF, a reputable international charity, to raise money for healthcare in Zimbabwe. There's a link in the description below. Go and check it out. Now, I'm not done talking about corruption in Zimbabwe yet. In the next video, I'll be talking about the economic crisis and scary inflation levels in the country. So stay tuned. Bye!